Manipulation. It's the invisible hand pulling the strings of our lives. It's subtle, sneaky, and often leaves you questioning your choices, your worth, and even your reality. Welcome to this deep dive into the hidden world of manipulation, where we expose the tricks, traps, and tactics used every day to control your mind and decisions. Go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy such content, because more videos are coming your way. Also give a like, for that motivates us to continue creating content. And for those who are truly ready to master the mind game, grab the book, Manipulation Bible, Mastering Mind Games. The link is in the description below. Let's take back control together. Manipulation through dark psychology is a powerful and often destructive tool used to control others without them even realizing it. Below, we'll explore 20 common tactics with profound real-life scenarios to shed light on how these methods operate in everyday life. Tactic number 1. Gaslighting. If you want to subtly manipulate someone's reality, gaslighting is a powerful tool. The key is to make them question their own perceptions and memories. If they bring up something you said or did, simply deny it and tell them they're overreacting or imagining things. The goal is to shift the blame onto them, making them feel unstable and confused. For example, if you're in an argument and your partner points out that you said something hurtful earlier, you can respond by saying, "You're just being paranoid, I never said that." Over time, you'll gradually erode their confidence in their own judgment. It's crucial to remain calm and confident in your denials. The more you do this, the more control you'll have. Tactic number 2. Flattery. To gain someone's compliance or make them feel obligated to you, use flattery. Compliment them excessively on things that matter to them, making them feel superior and appreciated. The key here is to make them feel like they're special and irreplaceable. For instance, if you want someone to do a favor for you, you might say, "You're one of the most reliable people I know. I really need your expertise on this." This will make them feel valued and important, which increases their willingness to do what you ask, even if they're not inclined to do so initially. Tactic number 3. Guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is about making someone feel responsible for your happiness or well-being. You want to make them feel that their actions or inactions are hurting you. The more emotional you can get, the better. For example, if you want someone to drop everything and help you, try saying something like, "I've always been there for you, and this is how you repay me." Even if they've never agreed to help, you manipulate them into feeling that they owe it to you. The emotional weight of this tactic often pushes people into doing things out of misplaced obligation. Tactic number 4. Appealing to authority. Leverage authority figures to make your argument more convincing. If you want someone to follow your lead, you can always say, "The boss thinks this is the best way to do it, so we should follow this approach." This makes it harder for the person to argue because they feel pressured to respect authority. The more authority you can invoke, whether real or imagined, the more powerful this tactic becomes. For example, in a team setting, if you can claim that the CEO supports a certain course of action, it becomes difficult for your colleagues to question it. Even if you're fabricating or exaggerating the authority's opinion, the mere mention creates a psychological pressure to comply. Tactic number 5. Playing the victim. Acting like the victim is a great way to gain sympathy and control the narrative. Whenever something goes wrong, turn it around and make others feel responsible for your misfortune. Cry wolf. Play up your hardships and make it about you, no matter who's actually at fault. For instance, if you fail to meet expectations, say something like, "I always try my best, but no one seems to appreciate how hard I'm working. I'm always the one stuck doing everything." This immediately shifts the blame from you to others, manipulating them into feeling guilty or responsible for your perceived suffering. The more you victimize yourself, the more others will feel obligated to fix the situation. Tactic number 6. False dilemma. Present a situation where the person feels they only have two options, one of which benefits you. When faced with a decision, frame it in a way that makes it seem like there's no middle ground, just two extremes. For example, if you want someone to make a quick decision, say, "You can either accept this deal now, or we're going to lose this opportunity forever." The urgency you create forces them into a quick decision, often without considering other, less obvious options. By narrowing their choices, you increase the chances they'll pick the option that benefits you. Tactic number 7. Love bombing. Overwhelm someone with affection, compliments, and attention to make them feel deeply connected to you. When you first meet someone or want to gain their loyalty, shower them with praise and gestures of affection. The goal is to make them feel like they've found someone special, someone who understands them. In romantic relationships, you might say things like, "I've never met anyone like you before. You're my soulmate." In a professional setting, you might heap praise on a colleague, saying, "You're the hardest worker I've ever met. We need more people like you." This excessive attention creates a sense of indebtedness, making it harder for them to say no to you when you ask for favors or sacrifices. Tactic number 8. Isolation. Isolate the target from their support network to make them more dependent on you. The goal here is to gradually convince the person that you are the only one who truly understands them, while everyone else is either out of touch or unreliable. If you're dating someone and want them to focus solely on you, you might say, "Your friends don't really know you like I do. They'll never understand us." Over time, you convince them to cut ties with friends and family, leaving you as their only emotional anchor. Isolation makes the target more susceptible to manipulation, as they have no other perspectives to compare yours with. Tactic number 9. Triangulation. Use a third party to strengthen your position or manipulate someone else. If you want to convince someone to do something, tell them that others agree with your point of view. The trick is to make the target feel like they're on the outside of a consensus. If you're in a disagreement with someone, you might tell them, "Sarah agrees with me, and she thinks this is the best way to go." Even if Sarah has not said anything, presenting it this way creates doubt and pressure. Triangulation divides relationships, forcing others to align with you while they are kept in the dark about the full truth. Tactic number 10. Fear-Mongering. Create a sense of impending doom or disaster to force someone to act in a way that benefits you. The key here is to make the person fear the consequences of not complying, even if the fear is unfounded. For example, say, "If you don't sign this contract now, the opportunity will be gone forever, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life." The sense of urgency and fear that you create makes them feel like they have no choice but to comply. Fear is an incredibly powerful motivator, and when it's wielded effectively, it can push people into decisions they wouldn't normally make. Tactic number 11. Silent treatment. Want to make someone squirm without saying a word? Master the silent treatment. It's incredibly effective and so simple to pull off. The idea is to just shut down communication completely. No texts, no calls, no acknowledgement. Leave them hanging, wondering what went wrong. The more unbothered you seem, the more they'll start to panic, trying to figure out what they did to upset you. This can push them to apologize, to beg for your attention, or to just come crawling back to you. The key is to stay unfazed and let them do the emotional work. They'll be chasing after you, wondering where they stand, while you remain cool and detached. Tactic number 12. Repetition. Want someone to buy into an idea, even if it's questionable? Repetition is your secret weapon. Say it once, then repeat it again and again. People start to accept things as truth simply because they hear them repeatedly. Whether it's an opinion, a fact, or a request, just keep bringing it up until they start believing it. You don't need proof, just the power of repetition. The more they hear something, the more they'll internalize it. It's a simple trick, but it works every time. Don't underestimate the power of saying the same thing over and over. It's how you bend reality to your will. When you want a friend to watch a show you like, "You'd love this show, you have to watch it," until you finally give in. Tactic number 13. Mirroring. Want to build rapport quickly and have someone feel like you get them? Start mirroring them. People love to feel understood, and there's no better way to make them feel that way than by subtly copying their behavior. Lean in when they do, match their tone of voice, and even reflect their gestures. In a job interview, matching the interviewer's formal tone and pace, building subconscious rapport and trust. This builds an instant connection, as people are naturally drawn to those who resemble them. The more you mirror them, the more they'll feel like you're on the same wavelength. It's a psychological shortcut to trust, and once they feel comfortable with you, they're much more likely to open up and follow your lead. Tactic number 14. Playing on insecurity. Want to get someone to do what you want, or make them feel like they need you? Play on their insecurities. This tactic works because everyone has something they're self-conscious about. Figure out what it is, whether it's their looks, their intelligence, or their social status, and then subtly highlight it. You don't have to be harsh, just drop little comments like, "I think you could really stand out if you worked on that," or highlighting a friend's uncertainty by saying, "I noticed you didn't seem confident in that group. Want me to help with your communication skills?" This will make them feel like they need your guidance to fix their flaw, and soon, they'll be going out of their way to please you or earn your approval. But be careful, push too hard, and it could backfire. Tactic number 15. Devaluation. Want to make someone doubt themselves and depend on you more? Devalue their worth. Constantly criticize their actions or downplay their accomplishments, making them feel like nothing they do is ever good enough. As a boss, you can say, "Your report is okay, but I expected something a little more detailed," fostering dependence on their guidance. Over time, they'll begin to feel less confident, making them more likely to seek validation from you. Once they feel inadequate, you'll be the person they turn to for guidance and approval. But don't overdo it. You want them to need you, not completely fall apart. Tactic number 16. Withholding information. Withholding information is a powerful tactic when you want to control the flow of a situation. This works best when you know something the other person needs to know, but keep it to yourself. Maybe it's a deadline, a key piece of the puzzle, or even a bit of crucial feedback. By not sharing this information, you're putting them at a disadvantage, forcing them to rely on you. They'll start coming to you for answers, and you'll be in a position to call the shots. You can neglect to mention a software shortcut, keeping your coworker reliant on your expertise to finish tasks efficiently. It's all about control. Just make sure you don't withhold too much, or they might catch on. Tactic number 17. Using reverse psychology. You can make people do exactly what you want by using reverse psychology. This is all about saying the opposite of what you want them to do. For example, if you want someone to clean the kitchen, tell them, "I bet you wouldn't be able to clean the kitchen the way I like it." They'll immediately want to prove you wrong. This works because people naturally resist being told what to do, so by flipping it, you make them feel like they want to do it instead. A parent can say, "You probably won't like these vegetables. They're for grown-ups," prompting a child to eat them to prove otherwise. It's a subtle trick, but it works like a charm. Tactic number 18. Creating false urgency. Everyone knows the feeling of rushing to make a decision because this is your last chance. False urgency is one of the most effective ways to manipulate someone into making a quick decision. You might say something like, "This offer expires in 10 minutes, or only 2 spots left," even though there's no real deadline. The key here is to put pressure on them. When people feel rushed, they make poor decisions, so you can get them to act impulsively, maybe even spend money or agree to something they wouldn't normally. It's all about creating that sense of panic and making them think they're going to miss out. Tactic number 19. Shaming. Shaming is a classic way to manipulate someone's behavior. By making them feel guilty or bad about their actions, you can control their choices. Say things like, "Only a real friend would help out in this situation," or "I can't believe you didn't think of that. I thought you were smarter." The goal is to attack their self-esteem just enough to make them feel guilty and more likely to comply with your wishes. It's a dangerous tactic because it can really hurt someone's feelings, but when used strategically, it can make them bend to your will. Tactic number 20. Conditional love or approval. Want to keep someone doing what you want? Use conditional love. Tell them you'll only approve of their actions if they meet certain conditions. For example, "I'll be proud of you if you get that promotion," or "I'll support you if you start making more money." By attaching your approval or affection to their performance, you make them feel like they need to earn your love or respect. This tactic keeps them constantly trying to meet your expectations, and when they do, they feel validated and stay loyal to you. It's a powerful manipulation because people want to be loved and accepted, and they'll keep doing what it takes to get that approval from you. These are the tools of the trade when it comes to manipulating people to get what you want. But remember, just because these tactics work doesn't mean they're the right way to get ahead. Use them wisely, and always consider the ethical cost of your actions. You can control people, but at what price? If you enjoyed, please like and write in the comment your favorite or the one you used before. Just give a like and subscribe. That is the only way we get your feedback. Thanks for watching.